An Iranian operative is wanted by the FBI for an alleged plot to murder former Trump administration National Security Advisor John Bolton.
The Justice Department believes the plot was retaliation for a U.S. airstrike that killed a powerful Iranian general in Iraq back in 2020. Bolton thanked the Justice Department and said, quote, "While much cannot be said publicly right now, one point is indisputable. Iran's rulers are liars, terrorists, and enemies of the United States."
For more on this, let's bring in CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge. Hi, Catherine. So do we know how advanced this plot became?
Well, Tanya, based on the 28-page criminal complaint that was unsealed by the Justice Department earlier today, it was a fairly advanced plot. It began, they said, in October of 2021, and it ran through April of earlier this year, and the primary suspect in it is an Iranian, Shahram Poursafi, an alleged member of the IRGC, which is Iran's military. There you see now the FBI wanted poster that was released earlier today. What this document shows is that right almost from the get-go, the FBI had what's called a CHS, a confidential human source, who was working inside this operation and liaising directly with the suspect about this murder-for-hire plot for John Bolton. And we've got another photo right here, which is what I literally call the money shot. And the money shot was very late into the conspiracy. This confidential source working for the FBI wanted proof that he or she was going to be paid. There's the money shot right there. And this is what the Iranian allegedly showed as validation that the money, about $250,000, would be deposited to an account if he was able to kill the former National Security Advisor, John Bolton.
What about the scope of these alleged plans? Do the court records show that this alleged plot went beyond John Bolton?
Well, you know, I read through the entire 28-page criminal complaint and buried about sort of 4, 5, 6 pages into it. It says, it alleges that this Iranian not only wanted to kill the former National Security Advisor, John Bolton, and was offering $250,000 to execute this operation, but there was money up to $1 million for a second target that is unnamed in the document. But we know through our reporting here at CBS News that a number of former senior government officials at the State Department and also within the cabinet have had a number of credible threats against them that we believe, based on our reporting, is related to the assassination of General Soleimani. This was the strike in Iraq that took him out and essentially cut the head off the snake of Iran's terrorist operations in the Middle East.
Right. And Catherine, you recently spoke with John Bolton. What did he tell you about all of this?
Well, I've been in touch with John Bolton. I mean, I've known him for a long time, but in recent weeks, it's been clear to me, without getting into a lot of details, that his security has really been noticeably amped up. And he said that, number one, it was always communicated as a very serious threat. And then number two, he said it was a note of caution for the current administration as they re-engage with Iran on the nuclear talks. And he says Iran's nuclear weapons and terrorist activities are two sides of the same coin. No responsible U.S. government should think otherwise. America's re-entering that failed agreement, he said, would be a self-inflicted wound. So on the one hand, he's saying this operation shows that Iran really hasn't changed its stripes. It's fostering terrorist activity and, in this case, an alleged assassination plot against a former member, senior member of the last administration.
And we know that the current National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, just released a statement recently saying that if Iran attacks any of our U.S. citizens, Iran will face, quote, severe consequences. Catherine Herridge reporting from Washington for us. Catherine, thank you very much.
You're welcome, of course.